Well, it's been 3 months since Kimberly's surgery, and we'd really hoped things were going to be going a lot better than they are now, but it's just not working out that way. We've got a ton of updates to give y'all, lots of appointments we've been through, and a lot of stuff going on, and some crazy stuff's happened too. But before we get into that, we're going to go back out and check on Lucky's new baby. Y'all got to see him the other day, and we just want to show you how great he's doing and how things are going with him. Hey, Lucky.
Hey, sweetheart.
How are you doing? You can see she's still doing good.
Yeah.
And then look at this little buddy over here. He is getting to be a chunk. Aren't you? Super friendly too.
He is. He loves it when the girls come out here, especially.
Yeah, it's kind of funny watching him because he like throws his tail up and be running around. He acts like a dog sometimes.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to fly spray her again.
I know.
Everybody else is doing good still, it looks like. Well, I just don't know why it's not like the rest of them are still good, but she's got quite a few on her. Mm-hmm. Come here, buddy. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Come here.
They all kind of look out for him too. So cute.
What, did you think I was sneaking up on you? Go back over by your mama. Go back over by your mama. Sorry about the wind if that's on. We got mics on, but it's rough today.
The one good thing about the wind, though, is that it is much cooler today than it has been. Hey, sweet boy.
Still don't have a name for him.
Yeah.
But
he is just the most beautiful little thing, though.
Yeah. But as you can see, he's healthy. His sides are filled out and got lots of energy.
Yeah.
We're going to have to up her feed a little bit because which cows will adjust to the amount of milk they need for what they're having to feed. And since we're not actually milking her yet, because since we're going to be going on a trip for that medical appointment, we didn't want to cause more work for my mom when we were gone. So we're just letting him nurse her down right now. But we're going to have to increase her feed intake a little later, and especially when we start milking her, that way she'll produce more. But I checked her the other day. Her bag's not huge, but she still has lots of milk, and you can tell he's not missing a meal.
No.
Come here.
You're so cute.
Wrinkling his nose up.
Oh. He's the sweetest thing.
But now y'all can see that Lucky and whatever his name is doing real good, and so are all the other ones. It's starting to get a little dry around here. They still got quite a bit of grass and all, but we had to put out another bale of hay just to make sure that they're supplemented. Plus they get grain too, but it's just not quite growing like it was. But now that you've seen they're good, we're fixing to go down and give y'all the medical update y'all been waiting on. What are y'all doing? You came up here without your mama, huh? You followed us.
Yep.
You followed us.
Everybody else was coming up and they acted all excited, so he thought something exciting was happening.
Well, with this wind, it actually feels nice out.
Yeah, it does.
It is a little cooler, too. Y'all ate y'all's minerals down? Nope, y'all still got a bunch. It's not feeding time yet, people.
A little bit later, guys.
It's not feeding time yet. Oh, yuck, you just slung slobber everywhere.
Yeah, he just slung it all over him.
But yeah, Bob's gotten a lot friendlier, too.
Yeah.
Joe and Nova are still, Okay. We got to go, guys. We'll be back later.
Okay, so we have actually had a couple of appointments since last time we told you guys about how everything was going. Obviously been continuing with therapy. It's really not made any perceptible changes other than some days I'm a lot worse from it than others. So just kind of following standard protocol, the orders that I had gotten with that, just because that's what the doctor wanted to do.
Yeah, pretty much on therapy days, that does her in. Sometimes, well, I guess at the beginning when they were doing stuff, because they were trying, I guess, to go a little more aggressive at first, till they realized that was making it worse, and she'd be down for like a couple days after her therapy sessions, and then it was just, I don't know, it was rough. I was like, I know you got to do it that way they can for sure show that it didn't work, but I was like, it's just crazy that this is making you worse.
Yeah. So I don't know, it's kind of frustrating because it's some days I do great, and then other days it's like, okay, this is right back where we were when we started.
Yeah,
so
because you'll have dizzy spells, a lot of pain and stuff, and then what'd you say, you was up to like 2-pound weights in each hand? So it's not like real strenuous stuff, but it's just, I don't know, we had high hopes that things were going to be a lot better by now.
Yeah, and this past week I actually had to go back down to 1 pound one day, and then the other day we couldn't even use weights because I was having such a flare. So I don't know, it's up and down, and just hoping maybe we can try something else that works. But in the midst of all that, finally got in to see the neurologist. This is a local neurologist, so didn't have to travel all the way to Baltimore, thank goodness. But she also has a headache specialty, so we were, hopeful that, she could help. Went in with the long list of symptoms, all of the, the dizziness, the headaches, the pain, the tenderness, not even be able to tolerate having my head touched, wearing a ponytail, all of the things. I had to write them all out, actually put it in my phone so I wouldn't forget a piece of paper to take it with me. And she looked at everything and she said, "That's a lot." And I was like, "I know." She said, "I don't really know where to start." She said, "Just to be honest," she said, there's not a great starting point with this.
Not the words you want to hear when you're going for answers.
Yeah. And she said, this is not going to be easy necessarily. And I'm not saying that that I know exactly what we're going to do to fix this, or if we can, but she's like, "I'm going to do my best to help you and try to manage some of this." So, I mean, I liked that, but it's still one of those, don't really know how you feel about that.
Yeah, and probably the craziest part is because, like, just talking to her, like, on the initial myelogram, it showed you had high pressure. And then whenever she was talking to her about the symptoms and the things that she was trying to do and stuff to ease the pressure, it's almost like that. She said that a lot of the symptoms seem like more of a high pressure type issue, when the ICP monitor showed it was a borderline to low, on the low side. So that's another thing, is not knowing the symptoms, not always matching up with what the numbers are showing. And so it's kind of like, is there something else that everybody's just missing? But I don't know what other testing there is they can do to try to figure that out.
Yeah. And
so that's where she was at on trying to try medications and stuff. She's like, that's why we're just having to kind of go in the dark on this and try some stuff, and if something's working, we can start working towards that way, or if it's not, then we can try the other way. But I guess some of the stuff she's trying is like more towards a high pressure type thing. So
yeah, because since the surgery, a couple of the newest things I've had have been like major pressure headaches. And when I say pressure headaches, it feels a lot like sinus pressure, but it is not sinus pressure, because I've had sinus headaches, my entire life. And I know what that feels like. And I'm not having any sinus issues right now, but like I will get the worst, just pressure in, the front of my face. And then also I've been having some crazy burning on the right side of my head, right ear. And it's usually triggered by certain activities, certain movements, and that kind of thing. And therapy really sets it off a lot. And we've, I've had, hopefully she's been documenting all that. I haven't looked at my notes, but I've been telling her exactly what triggers it, and she's been kind of keeping up with that too. I am thankful that this neurologist is familiar with like pressure issues, so that she kind of knows, hey, this, sounds more like a high, this sounds more like low stuff. So at least I feel, at least there's somebody who's more versed in it than what I've seen before.
Oh yeah, we've had some that just, you could tell they don't have a clue what you're talking about.
No. So she gave me a couple of medications to start. One is just an anti-inflammatory, just because some of the symptoms, she's wondering if maybe they are inflammation like triggered. And since I am, I'm a little over 3 months post-op, she's like, you still could be having some inflammation. Let's see if we can't knock that down. She said, this is not necessarily going to, be anything, that's going to help, globally, but, if anything is inflammation, we can help with that. And then she gave me another one. It is a headache medication, but it kind of helps with high pressure, but it's a very light, considered like lower end of the scale. So it's not something that's going to hit me hard for that. Mm-hmm. But we can see if it makes any difference at all. That way she knows if she needs to like go more that direction or if she needs to go somewhere completely different.
Yeah, because she said if it shows some improvement, then there are medications that are better for that, but it's pretty much like a bigger hit from the get-go. And so not knowing what it is, she didn't want to do that and end up making something way worse before they figure out if that's the route they need to go. So this was something that we kind of work on that to give an idea. So if there was a little bit of relief, she definitely has other stuff to try in that direction.
The only catch with these medications, now the anti-inflammatory, it only takes usually a couple of weeks to get in your system if you're taking it consistently. But the other medication, it can take like 4 to 6 weeks to notice any improvement. So still have not, hit that threshold yet. So don't know, if it's helping or not, but
no, we're just a couple weeks in now. So.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see something, even if it's the slightest bit of relief of any kind. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. And then whenever I was telling her about talking to the neurosurgeon's PA, how she'd mentioned like occipital neuralgia potentially, being triggered by this last surgery, she said, well, yeah. She said, well, what if we try some trigger point injections? She said, she asked if I'd had those before, and I've had something before, but I don't know if it was exactly that. She did not do them though. So she said, well, let's try these. And she actually has someone in her clinic who does those and does them well. So she wanted to set me up with her to do them. That way, she said she thought that it'd be the least painful route to get them done. So unfortunately, they couldn't get me until like toward the middle of next month.
Well, the initial time they could get us in is while we're going to be out of state for the follow-up appointment. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, we can't do that. So they had to put it the week after that.
Yeah. At least we've got kind of a direction there. And she said, if those don't help, then we can always try like Botox or something like that, because she's also had some good results with using that for headaches, migraines, other things of this nature. But she said, this may not be a quick fix. She said, it's probably not going to be a quick fix. She said, it's going to take some time and some figuring out and just seeing what helps, what doesn't, and kind of, like we said, the route that we even have to go to get there. But hopefully.
Yeah, she seemed a little concerned having to say we're just going to, but I mean, we're pretty much like, that's been the story of Kimberly's life. We just got to try it and see what happens. So we weren't overly shocked that was the deal. And like we weren't upset about anything. Because like I said, we know it's a very odd case, because otherwise we wouldn't have been through so many people who absolutely knew nothing and could do nothing about it. So. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just glad that there is someone here locally that is willing to advocate and help like this, because honestly, other than our PCP, that's the only other person in this realm of things that we've been able to have that is doing that for us. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that's where we are with that. After, I guess, the trigger point injections, I'm sure they'll set up another follow-up to visit and to check on, medications, and then we'll go from there. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping that those will help. I really, really am hoping.
Definitely. Okay, we're back. Kimberly needed a little rest break before we finish that up, but we still got a little bit more to tell you about another appointment and what went on with that.
Yeah, so this next appointment was the 3-month follow-up MRI. At the last appointment I had over the phone with the PA, they had scheduled an MRI, which I could get done here locally as well, which, if y'all remember, back whenever I had my initial MRIs in the fall, we had to go through the PCP and have them rewrite the orders from Johns Hopkins. That way I could have them done at the hospital here, because everywhere in Arkansas requires someone locally to write them. So kind of already had that figured out. Talked to the nurse there, sent her the orders, all was well, pretty quick, easy, all that. I wasn't stressing about it. So got to the hospital to get the MRI done. And it was actually the same people working that day that were there in the fall. So they knew, how complex, all the views were and all that. And I was like, hey, let me know, what all views are on your sheet, just to make sure that it's exactly what they want. Because I've always got a fear that they're not going to get everything they need, and I have to go back in that machine because it's already rough. And I told her what all was on the notes on the order that I was looking at. And she came back and she said, that's not on here. And I went, are you kidding me? I was like, I'm about to follow up with my neurosurgeon. I was like, I have to have these today. I was like, there's no way. I was like, that's not going to show them anything that they need, just to have a blank, standard MRI, because they wanted a flow study and then all these specific images. And the flow study was the one that they couldn't do without the extra, terminology from them. So she's like, hang on, let me call the doctor's office and see what I can do. And I told her, I was like, if you can't get through to them, let me know and I will see what I can do to make some phone calls.
Yeah.
And she came back within like 5 minutes and she's like, I got it. She said, I was able to call them and I called your insurance to make sure everything was fine. She said, it's the same codes and everything. She said, so we are good to go. So in the meantime, they had gone ahead and, passed me up and gotten the next person in the machine. That way they could keep their schedule moving, which I did not care. I was like, thank you guys so much.
Our biggest fear was it was going to take a lot longer than that. And I was like, worst case, we'll drive to the doctor's office and actually find the actual doctor to get him fix it. Because last time he just took the orders from there and just wrote at the top to make it so. And didn't rewrite it. And this time they just took the top line off of it, rewrote that, and didn't rewrite all the notes. So little miscommunication. But the problem is they don't give those orders back to you where you can see them. They just send them directly in and you get it scheduled and you just assume that everything was done right. And little mishaps happen. Got to read the fine print.
Yeah, because the way the orders from the neurosurgeon's office were, they had at the top it said what the test was that they wanted run, but then all the way at the bottom, past all the codes for all of my conditions, were the views plus the CSF flow study at the very, very bottom part of the page. So she probably just overlooked that, which, like I said, thankfully it was an easy fix. And they were super, super awesome in that department. And
yeah, they always do good. So, I mean, things happen, but it was just crazy because, we've got this trip planned. We have to go out of state. It's not like there's a whole lot of time to get this fixed if it's going to take a long time to do.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's the worst case scenario is we have to reschedule all this. And I've already taken off work, and it was just like, it's going to be a big mess since we already have it all planned.
Yes. So, thankfully, got to go ahead and get it done. This one was without contrast, thank goodness, because those are not fun. But it was definitely a different experience. Part of my deal is back part of my head is super sensitive, to a lot of pressure or anything. In an MRI machine, I have to lay flat on the back part of my head. And that was not very fun. And with all that extra stuff included, it takes a little bit longer than just a traditional brain MRI. So, I was doing my best to sit there, and I was focusing on my breathing and just trying to, just focus on different things and trying to drown it out. I had my earplugs in, it's still really loud and everything, and just holding as still as possible. And they were like talking me through it because they've got the little speaker in there. Only got this much left. You got this much left. You're doing great. Let me check these images and then we'll pull you out of there. So once I got finished, was super, super happy. But they're always rough on me. I mean, I'm always, not feeling great afterwards. But this was on a whole nother level yesterday. Still a little today too. Just the headache yesterday, and then the pain and nerve symptoms, kind of off the charts. I had no idea it was going to be like that. I knew it was going to be rough, but I didn't know it would last as long as it has. So today, just kind of taking it easy as much as possible, because just one of those things, I guess. But I'm glad we were able to get it done. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, they need the images, have to work through it, and maybe they'll be able to look at it, and hopefully everything's good structurally. I mean, I don't want it to show anything bad with that, because honestly, I don't want to have to go through this again.
Yeah. Plus, it's funny because, like, there's a couple different brands of MRI machines, and so the terminology is a little bit different with them. And so the very first time we went, trying to get everybody to figure out what was what, until finally the surgeon up in Baltimore was like, hey, if they have this brand of machine, it's called this. And so then they knew what it was. And they were telling her, they was like, we still have all these protocols saved from before. And it's like, we almost just put your name on them, because that's the only time they've ever done them. And so luckily they had all this stuff still saved in the machine, or a protocol saved for it, where made it a little quicker, because last time they had to pretty much build everything out that they were going to have to do. And so it's just funny that even after almost a year's time, they've still never had to do all that on somebody. So
yeah, he said whenever the one that came out and brought me the disc, he said that he has saved all this specifically in there, and he said he has never used any of these protocols on anybody else. I mean, the flow study he's used before, but like the other specific images, he's never actually had to pull those for anybody except me. And he's been there a long time.
yeah.
So I was just like, wow, that's crazy. I mean, that's really, really crazy, I think.
And then when you're dealing with something like this, it's kind of a weird feeling, because like going into it, she's like, I almost hope that there's something that they find on the MRI, so at least there's something there for them to fix. And I was like, because I mean, most people, when you get you want it to be good.
Yeah.
But when you're hurting, it's kind of like it's kind of a weird feeling, because you're like, I really hope something's on here so that they can have something to fix. Well, it didn't appear that there was, based on their readings, so everything seemed to be normal. So
yeah,
we've got that, and we'll be heading to Florida for our follow-up appointment. We've got to upload all those images to the Johns Hopkins, and they'll take a look at it and all, and we'll have that appointment. I guess after that, it's probably mostly going to be just dealing with the neurologist here in Arkansas, because they said unless something pops up that's structurally wrong, that there's nothing really they as neurosurgeons can fix, because they don't manage medications and stuff like that. They go in and fix physical problems, and so far nothing's showing up.
Yeah. So I don't really know. I mean, it's one of those things you don't really know how to feel about it. The other day I was actually in therapy, and I was talking to my therapist who, I mean, it's the place I used to work. So, we've known each other for a while and kind of become friends, and she was asking, how I felt about everything, and I actually got a little teary about everything. I said, I did not expect going into this that I was going to be this way. I was like, I had fully expected at this point, I would be back to at least baseline where I was before surgery, and I'd be back at work. At this point, physically, there's no way I can go back to work right now. I mean, I don't foresee that happening, because, I mean, I mean, it's just, I can't hold up for anything at this point. And
Yeah, unless somebody can find some sort of solution to get her back, it's not feasible. I mean, even if it was, I don't even know that it's possible
yeah,
because, like I said, I just know I see the pain stuff she's in just from therapy and doing little things around here, and it's cut back on a lot. And it's one thing with the videos and stuff is that I'm working full time, and like I said, she's still doing stuff around here, taking care of the girls and all that, but it's just not something where she can hold out to go do
no,
that. And so we're just having to take one day at a time,
yeah,
try to find the blessings in things. And
yes,
one thing that I would say about it is her being home more with the girls and stuff. That's been good. School and stuff with them has been a little more easily done, I guess, since you're here every day, not having to go to work and stuff. And
yeah,
I just like the fact, because my shift rotates, and I just like the fact no matter when I'm off, she's home.
yeah,
So I hate that she's miserable or in pain to be home, but like I said, you just got to find the good in stuff, because otherwise it can get very discouraging. So
yeah. And I do have some good days. It's not that every single day is the worst day ever.
no,
A lot of them are pretty bad as far as, times throughout the day, but it's not, 24/7 that, I'm in 10 out of 10 pain. So that's a blessing at least. And I am on medication to help manage some of that.
yeah.
I am not driving, so that's also a little bit of a hindrance, but
Thankfully, because before I was handling all, and then whenever I went back to work, my schedule changed where I wasn't. But thankfully, my mom has been able to step in there. She's
yes.
been able to get her to and from therapy.
Mm-hmm.
She's helped take the girls to some summer activities and stuff
Yes.
with their 4-H clubs and things like that. And so it's been a huge help with that. And I think the girls have been enjoying getting to spend some extra time with their mom and grandmother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's definitely different. It's definitely been, not what we expected, but I mean, one day at a time.
And deal with the driving. She's been released to drive,
Yes.
but she still has some dizzy spells and stuff, and like trying to turn her neck and stuff, or head, I guess, is an issue. And so she just doesn't feel
Safe necessarily.
safe, or if she's driving and ends up having a spell and has to pull over on the side of me, somebody's going to come get her anyhow. And since it's been working out, that's fine, which I'm fixing to be going back to evening, so I'll be able to handle that again.
Yeah, and maybe, some of this medication or these injections or something will help fix that, or maybe I can drive again.
I'm hoping
for
that
too long.
maybe these injections will be the thing we're looking for.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Don't know it, but I'm hopeful.
Yep.
But that's where we are with that. Like I said, we have the follow-up appointment coming up in, next week. And so once we get that results from that and everything, we'll let y'all know how it's going. I don't see anything life-changing that's going to come out of that appointment, but if it does, it'll be something to share. And we're going to try to get a few little extra days in so we can take the girls down to the beach and let them at least enjoy a little bit of a vacation, since they really haven't had one. We have gone to, I did take them up to Silver Dollar City one day, probably a month or so ago.
Yeah.
And so they did get to do that. So they're still going to do some little things, but no big vacations and all like they're used to, but that'll be all right.
Yep. And really appreciate all of the prayers, and thank you for everyone who sent cards and encouragement. Really do appreciate that too. That means a lot.
Yeah, and some of y'all sent gift stuff. We were going to do an opening on a live, but she's just not really felt up to doing that. So we may just try to do it in a video to show, because like I said, the girls have been thrilled. They've been using a lot of the stuff they got. And I mean, we're super thankful that y'all have thought about them and us. And like I said, I can't tell you how many cards and stuff that we've gotten. And it's just, it's really nice to go to the P.O. box and have a nice little surprise. So we really appreciate all of y'all thinking about us and all the stuff that y'all do for us.
Yes.
But we're going to wrap that one up here. We still got I have some other stuff to take care of and all that. But we appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you next time on Grounds Family Farm. Bye.
Bye, guys.